All right, welcome to the first episode of my podcast. In this episode, I'm really going to just lay out the foundation for what the podcast is about, why I started it, and what you're going to see in the future over the next, in the near term for this podcast. So, as a lot of you may know, I produced this mix series, ReFuel Your Soul, for several years, and I've enjoyed it. But at some point, it started feeling like a chore. I love the music, but the series wasn't necessarily refueling my own soul. After a while, after several years of doing it, and so I kind of pulled back a little bit, and I'm not doing it as often as I was before. I felt like something was missing. And so for the past year or so, I've been, I've had this desire to create some content for the community and for my audience, and something that's fulfilling for me, but also something that provides value for the community at large. And so the idea that I came up with was this podcast. And so before I get into really the reasons why I started this podcast, let me go ahead and talk about the format. Initially, it's mostly going to be one-on-one conversations where I bring on a new guest every week, and we just talk about what motivates them. Usually it's going to be house music artists or DJs, and we're going to talk about motivation and their story and navigating life and how it relates to house music. We'll talk about the music industry, and we'll also talk about house music culture and how things have changed over the years. And we'll just I'm going to try to keep it interesting by bringing on different guests who have different points of view. And so that's really what it's going to be for the next little while. I'll eventually start bringing in or recording episodes and releasing episodes that are shorter, that are my thoughts on different topics like industry and and things like that. And the length of each episode is probably going to be about anywhere from 30 to 60 or 90 minutes, depending on how the conversation is going. But for these other episodes, that will be a little bit shorter. I'll have some other episodes that are shorter that, like I said, are going to talk about where I talk about my opinion on things and how I see things in my perspective. So let's get into the reasons why I started this podcast. And there are several. The first one is that I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to create a different kind of content than what we typically see in the underground house music scene. I have this desire to create some high value content that is different from a typical mix show series. Or what you typically see on social media posts. There's a lot of really good tutorials out there and whatnot, but there's not really a ton of content out there that is focusing on the backstories of the artists, like behind the music, if you will. And so with that, I wanted to bring on, like I said, some guests so I can include multiple perspectives and learn from those perspectives. And then also, share those perspectives with a wider audience and give the artists a platform to, or another vehicle for sharing what they think and then going deeper than what is typically possible with typical social media platforms. So I think this podcast will help fulfill a need or fill a gap within our scene. I mean, it's one thing for people and myself to create content for just my own, from just my own perspective, but it's far more valuable, I think, to include others, and that will help nurture our community. And so the number two reason why I started this podcast is because, I kind of alluded to this just a minute ago. I want to highlight more house music artists than the bigger names that are in DJ Magazine or Mix Mag. Like I said, I noticed a gap in our space where there really aren't that many publications out there or any outlets that really go deep into artist backstories. A lot of the media tends to highlight, like I said, the bigger names, but there's a lot for every 100 or for every one big name, there's probably 100 or thousands, even thousands of stories that haven't been told, of people who are working hard, who are out there keeping the vibe alive with regular DJ mixes and amazing music. And they not everyone has gotten the recognition that they deserve, and so I want to help to change that. And there is a fair amount of content around some of the mainstream formats of music, more of the mainstream electronica, but for our house music scene, that is a little bit more of that traditional style of house music. There really aren't that many, like I said, that many publications or outlets that focus on our particular scene. All right. Another reason is that I'm looking to build community and foster relationships. I want listeners to get to know DJs, other DJs and producers and artists and dancers on a deeper level, and build richer relationships within our community. On the whole, we just don't have enough opportunities in this scene to connect. And there are so many of you out there that I just would love to have a conversation with, and we just haven't had a chance to do that because we live in different parts of the world, and it's not necessarily a habit for people to just to get on a call just because, or just to have a conversation just for the sake of it. And so I'm looking to connect with more of you, and hopefully as a result of me sharing this podcast out there, you'll feel connected to the artists that I bring on as guests, and you'll feel more connected. And we'll all feel more connected to each other. And so, I think that there's a lot of you who would also like to get to know a lot of people in our scene, and so this is an opportunity to at least get that going or help start that. We do say that it's about the music, and that is 100% true. What's also 100% true is that it's really about the community of people who love house music, like we all do. And so I feel like that, having that deeper connection with one another helps the scene to become stronger, and we feel more connected. And so as you listen to the podcast episodes and hear the stories of others, and hear the the conversations that I'm having with others in the scene, my hope is that you will feel that deeper connection to everyone and to our community. So what's ahead? Like I said, there's going to be a lot of one-on-one conversations with house heads from all over the world. For example, I have DJ Passion in Hong Kong, and then I've got Knox in New York City coming up. And there's a guy named Dave Cassette in Spokane, who, Spokane is a smaller city in the United States. And we're going to talk about how he's kind of helped to build up a scene there, even in a smaller city that you don't normally think of with house music. I also have some artists from Canada, the UK, and then of course there's more to come. I did say that there's going to be, I'll mostly feature one-on-one conversations, but we'll also potentially have group conversations and panel discussions on music business and culture topics. I know that not everyone can attend a big music conference, and so I want to provide some content that is, similar to or as good as some of the content or some of the sessions or workshops that you can maybe go to during a conference, but for whatever reason you can't make it for funds or family reasons or whatever. So I want to make topics like that more accessible to others. I may also host some live webinars where myself or another person in the scene will share a skill or teach on a given topic, or help you develop skills and whatnot. I will also be publishing episodes from time to time where I share some of my thoughts on various topics. I talked about this earlier. Some of the topics that I may cover are things like art versus commerce. Do track source charts really help? How to handle clicks in your local scene? And then, do you really need social media to make it as an artist these days? And then productivity and systems, and how to keep track of all of the tasks that we need to complete as artists these days. And so that's what's coming up. And speaking of tracking all the things, I've prepared a free guide for you. It's my release roadmap that guides you on how to manage all of the tasks that are always like they seem never ending, and The roadmap includes several example like checklists that you might need to complete as part of this, as part of your journey as an artist, as you release music. And so feel free to download that free release roadmap at tonyfuel.com/roadmap. And I look forward to embarking on this journey of connection with you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.